So a free bet with my king to the hearts here. Call down there. I will continue to bet here. I will check back. Raise here. So flat call here in position. We're going to put all these chips in anyway, so I'm going to call. I'll check here. Look for a check raise in this spot. So I've hit my set now, so I'm going to continue betting. Looking for Jaws to call me in king exit. And I'll put them all in now. I ain't worried about Queen Jack, but a range bet on this paired board in position. And fold to this all in from the short stack. I'll bet here with my continue to bet with my set. So I'm going to be betting a pot size bet here, looking to get calls from ace-x. Uh, 50% bet here with a top pair. So I'll check in this multi-way pot on the top left-hand corner. Open from the cut-off here with the 10-8 suited. I will bet with this middle pair. Hoping to fold out King X6, Queen X6. So this is my 3-bet range versus the cut-off. Three bet here with the King Queen seated. I'll check now on this paired board with the heart. So right, the question is here. Check my flush now on the turn, flush complete turn. I'm going to fold here. It's like, what's he calling with King X? No, Queen, Jack, 2 hearts. So I want to make sure the last bet goes in. Call against this short stack with the pocket tens. Not surprised to see that. So, as a rule, I generally never squeeze here with the ace queen seated. Done. So I'll continue to bet here against this short stack. I will call. You can have ace X or so it's kind of what's his calling range here when he raises, and then so I would expect aces and kings to re-raise. So you could have something like 5 7s, Queen 10, but it's also a short stack, so re-raise here with the pocket queens. So, you know, he could have 5s or 7s on the flop. If he's got like a queen on beating him. So that's in my 4-bet shoving range from that position, especially against the short stack. I'm going to check here. To be honest, I missed that I was in position there, so I would normally bet. So I'll bet here with the top pair and open ender. I'll bet here versus there's two players here. So I'll check here. I'm going to check back here with this marginal hand. And I'll bet. I'll check call here. So I will bet here. So I've got lucky he flops a straight, but luckily so multi-tabling for me is all about getting the volume in. Afterwards I'll check back and make sure that my basic pre-flop decisions are correct and that my flop is following the strategy that I should be following. And when I play two tables, that's all about really concentrating, making sure I'm making good decisions. And this is about like trying to get more autopiloted in a way, so that I can get some good playing. Yeah, if you can come across any hands that you want to know about, feel free to add your comments to the channel. So I will just call here. If we own a limiting, I would have isolated. And this is from my 3-bet range here. So I will 3-bet with king queen off. So I'm just going to limp in here with these pocket fives. So the kind of hands I'll do this with is, small pocket pairs like 6s to 2s, and maybe odd x8 suited. It's not something I do often. So he does limp quite a lot. I will raise here. From the calf. Folding range here for me. So all my pre-flop ranges are from the pre-flop boot camp with Brad Wilson. So I tend to follow that so that I can become more routine, and
make it simple for me. Obviously, the aim is to make it more fluid as you play. Adjust, depending on players at the tables. And obviously, that's my long-term goal. You will find me doing that occasionally. So I'll continue to bet for small blind caller, and with these odds I'm quite happy to call. Hitting raise, got backdoor, flush draw, or even hit the 7, which is brilliant. So this is a spot where I'll just call as I'm in position, and hopefully allow him to bet. So hoping for a call from the king. I think everything else would probably fold. So obviously with that, I would probably want relays on the turn. So I'll free bet on my pocket kings here, and this is a fold from this position with the bigger than usual raise there. So this is where I'm going to check on this board, just because Queen Jack, there's a lot of hands I think could connect with his range here. I don't want to build up a massive pot, so I'll check here. And I'll 70%, 50% here. For safety, I'm checking back with the kings. I'd be looking for a call, probably from something like that if I bet. No, he's got like 8-7 hearts in its range. I don't necessarily have to worry as much on that kind of flop. So this is my pre-flop ranges here, just to quickly go over them again for you. And as I do more videos, I'll go over my 3-bet ranges. And generally all the ranges that I play. So King 8 off is a raise open here. King Queen off versus the small blind is a fold for me. On this paired board, I'll range bet. And he could be check raising here with obviously 9s, other draw, so I'll continue to call. So the question is here, do I think he can do it with draws? We'll call here. Gets a bit tricky here.
I've got 2 pair of a poor kicker. He's showing strength. He could obviously be bluffing, but I think there's probably more an indication of strength. Squeeze here with the Queen 10 suited. Open with Queen 8 hearts. So, I'm not really sure what to make of that, really. I'm not going to call out position, but it's interesting what you would like call and then re-raise with. So, obviously I've made a couple of those in this play and explain, not betting certain straights. Obviously generally, so like 3:10 here in the afternoon in the UK, I generally play, in the mornings from about 10 o'clock to about 12, and I'm usually more alert. So this is actually in my ace-nine suited in my 3-bet range, but because it was a short stack I didn't. I'm going to call this minimum raise here. I will bet out versus small blind limp call, and I'll 3-bet here my 8s, and I'll bet out as he's checked to me. So I will check back here, and this kind of hand that I will bluff at if he checks. So I'll bet half pot here, my top pair, call with my pocket threes in this multi-way pot. So I'm going to bet 50% here. To get better value from 9s that he could have been calling with. Don't want to make it too big. Obviously could have been calling with a 6. So you're trying to think about the hands that would call my bet on the flop. I say this limp with my ace king. So obviously he's done this quite a few times, and sometimes he just re-raised back. I will range bet here on this paired board, 8% standard. King 10 off here is the call. Or fold out position with this. Yeah, this plays off like a short stack and keeps me going back up to 20. It's a bit of an unusual tactic. I will bet 50% with my middle pair here. This is a fold in my range here. I'll check now with this middle pair. I think it would be a bit too thin betting with a 9 and a 6, so I would check call, trying to allow him to bluff it any worse hands. So this is in my calling range, especially as it's small as well. So now he's checked back, it makes me think he possibly hasn't got an ace. I'm happy to call, getting some good odds here. But we want to raise. So we'll check here. So I'll call it, and I'd be quite happy to bet the river. Now I'm getting 4.5 big blinds into this. I'm going to raise this up to 9.6. It's possibly a hand I might want to go bigger in. So I'll be playing this for about another 15 minutes. So ace-5 suited is in my 4-betting range. It's in my calling range, king-jack suited. So I'll raise him here to 23.5. So now he's checked back here. Makes me feel a bit more confident to call. The problem is that he's got a very short stack. I'll bet here because it. So I think we're going to have to obviously give up on this one here. When he's called 4-bet, and then he's called bet on a flop. Don't think I can obviously continue with that hand specifically. Now I would check back if I had pocket aces, pocket kings, and probably even ace queen as well. Called pocket fives versus the hijack, and I will check him. I would usually bet, but you know, we have seen this player specifically make check raises. So I'm going to fold here versus this short stack. Again, it's probably something like the need to do is actually just look. So yeah, that was a definite right check there. Again, you've got to think about sort of the ranges.
So this is just going to be a fold to me. So when I'm multi-tabling, I want to try and have to think as little as possible in terms of my pre-flop and my flop strategy. This is why when I'm playing two tables, I take the time to concentrate, follow my strategies, whether it's from the courses that I've done with Brad Wilson, or the coaching that I've received, and then I try and implement this when I'm playing four tables. And this was on the advice of Justin in my coaching. Try and automate as much as you can, so that when you're playing a volume, you can just sort of play. And it has given me more confidence playing it that way in terms of I'll check here. Now I'm going to check because I don't think he's going to call anything anyway, so I want to try and allow him to bet, and then so this is a move 3 bet range versus so I'll call here as he's led into me. So obviously I got a bit lucky there. I did have a few outs. 9 the king, the clubs. But obviously it's interesting that he called 10-2 suited. So that is in my raising range, so I'd be quite happy to squeeze with a 10-9 suited, but I don't feel it's overly necessary, and I will call the gut shot. Raise with my kings. So kind of flop where I'm going to bet a little bit bigger than usual. Because you've got the king jack 9, you can have a lot of cards that he could call you with. So I'll check here now. I've got the full house. I think it would be a good spot to continue betting as you've got the draws on here. He could have called obviously with a jack. So now I'm going to overbet here. Looking to get called by a queen. It's whether I should be checking here. I could get called by a queen, a jack X. But obviously, interesting spot because you could check to induce a bluff from any missed draws.
because they might be incentivized with it looking exactly like it does. A paired board, 4 to a straight. It's a spot I'm not great at sometimes, deciding whether to check to let someone bet, especially when I've got like the top end of it. Oh, I'll call the ace-3 off. See, it's my folding range versus the dealer button raise. So I will just limp in here versus his dealer button limp. Usually I would raise the limper. Range bet on this monotone board. I check now what he's calling me, and now that he's bet, I'm going to fold. If he had checked, I would have gone for a bet to knock him off his hand. I think that's either a spot where I've got a raise or call fold there. So this is in my 3-bet range. Well, actually, it's just out of my 3-bet range, to be fair. I should have actually folded that. Actually, no. Yeah, the player's sitting up, so that's fine. So it is in my range. So I'll be folding versus his 4-bet. And I will be continuing here, checking with my pocket 5s in the multi-row pot. and fold into the bet on this Ace Jack 10 board. So yeah, I know there's a couple of spots that I didn't play very well here. Some spots I have to look at, and so it's a whole learning process. The more you play, the more you hopefully improve. So in my free betting range versus the hijack, obviously it's short stack, so it does change it a little bit. And cold call there. So I will check here. And now that he's checked back behind me, I'm going to try and get like ace X's to fold and not paired. I don't want to really see an ace king or a jack come off. And obviously an 8 is a really good card for me, so I'm going to bet here, and I'm going to bet around 90%. Get calls from Queen X's. Obviously, I wasn't expecting to call get from Ace King there. So overall, it's been quite a good session for me. I had a few interesting hands on this table. Obviously got lucky with the King 9 seated. Like I say, if you have any comments, feel free to either message me on Discord or add them to the YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.